A bit of eye contact before we start this video. So, anyways, yeah, we have this video right here by Yap Master, and it's titled "The Ultimate Disturbing and Vile Anime Fans Iceberg." Well, crazy thing I've seen today. Like, this is the craziest shit I've seen today. Either way though, let's find out what the fuck happened. Even though, you know, like, whatever, I don't know, bro.
Otakus typically refer to people who are overly obsessed with anime, manga, and just Japanese culture in general. Most of them live out their otaku lifestyle by going to
Yeah. So pretty much, yeah, I am obsessed with, you know, like, Japan. Not that obsessed. I don't even think I should even call it obsession or whatever. Yeah, don't think about it. What the fuck? Don't think about the movie though. But yeah, I don't know though.
conventions and buying body pillows, which doesn't hurt anybody, except if you happen to smell them. But some otakus have become a little too obsessed to the point that they commit vile acts. And trust me, it gets crazy.
Is that the
Just a
was that the anime studio that got burnt back in like 2018, 2019, around those times though? And yeah, before we reach that part, bro, I just gotta say, like, RIP to the workers, bro. Like, RIP, bro. Like, everybody that got involved in that incident and died, RIP. And everybody that got injured, I'm not gonna lie, I hope they're doing well today. Today, bro.
Imagine for once that you're a pretty smart student who has so far lived a pretty ordinary life. One day in class, you just happen to find a book that just falls out of the sky. When you go to pick it up, you realize that it isn't Harry Potter, which you could have sold on Craigslist, but something else. A book that is able to the person whose name is written in it. Now imagine you're also a hidden genius psychopath who decides to use this book to cleanse the world of all criminals. And because of all these sudden deaths of bad people, you also build a small fan base of people who like what you're doing and call you Kira. That is the plot of Death Note, the second most popular anime ever. Light Yagami, aka Kira, plays the psychopathic dude on his murder spree while trying not to get caught. Now there are tons of people obsessed with this anime and Light Yagami. For some reason, people just really like the whole psychopath, genius type of character. And
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sit over here and pretend as if I finished Death Note. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't finish the whole anime, bro. It's been years, and I mean years, many moons since I've watched Death Note, you feel me? Like, I think the last time I watched Death Note was, I wouldn't even try to guess when, because it was a long time ago. Like, I'm talking many years ago. But yeah, I should pretty much finish up that anime, bro. Like, it was getting interesting, but, you know, like, things happen. I don't know what the fuck distracted me, but yeah, I don't know.
6 p.m. on September 28, 2007,
But I'm
two
sure
hikers find a
like,
human
near the
body and
end
2
of-
legs in a park in Belgium. There's nothing else on their body, no personal items or anything that would identify him or the killers. But 2 notes were found nearby with the message saying "Watashi wa Kira desu," which roughly translates to "I am Kira." Shit's crazy.
I
A
am
real
Kira.
dead
Watashi wa
person
Kira desu.
next to a Death Note reference. That was not the only
Like-
mention of anime
Like,
or Japan.
hold on though. Like, did Duolingo help you, nigga? Damn, bro.
And though, once the police arrived, they also discovered a trail left by the killers in the form of a 160-foot line of rice that led to a symbol that is supposed to be something in Japanese. Not sure what it's supposed to mean though, I can't lie. Now the police had no proper leads at all. The detectives concluded that the body was either a few days old when found or had been stored in some sort of freezer. The thighs and his sack were cut with almost surgical precision, and the only thing that they could identify was the fact that it was a Caucasian guy between 20 and 30 years old. There was no missing person matching that description, and the only witness was some jogger who said that she saw some blonde man lying down in the area where the body was discovered. This broke the media, and so there were a lot of speculations that the police was just throwing around,
Hold on though. Like, did the nigga get killed by a fucking high schooler? Cause if so, then damn, bro. Like, I don't know. Like, did the Kira have a gun or something? Cause I'm not gonna lie. Like, I swear to God, bro. If some mandum tries to, like, you know, fucking do some shit like that to me though, and it's a fucking high schooler, while, you know, nah gang, they, bruh, run my fade, nigga, run my fade. And even if I die though in the process, at least though, I ran my fade, nigga.
A prank by medical students because of the surgical precision, and the date of the discovery matched the beginning of the school year. The University of Brussels argued though that it would be almost impossible for a whole body to just disappear without anybody noticing, so that wasn't a good lead.
Yeah.
Imagine you could just walk in there, take a body, and nobody would notice. Wouldn't seem like a very safe university. Other people thought it might be the work of a psychopath serial killer that was active between 1996 and 1997, the so-called Butcher of Mons, where 5 women were found in garbage bags without the killer ever being identified. It got really crazy. Like, listen to this. The location of the victim was very close to the highest point of Brussels, possibly a symbolic location since Kira acts as a god of death in the manga. That was out of the actual wiki of the case. Might as well just say that Kira got reincarnated into this world. On November 24th, the police announced that they reached a dead end on the 2-month-old case, and the media was low-key geeked. A murder that nobody could solve, referring to Death Note, and they just wouldn't find any conclusion to the case. Until 3 entire years later, around September of 2010, the police managed to arrest 4 suspects linked to this case. 3 people for the actual and 1 person for failing to provide assistance to a person in danger. It turns out that the deceased person actually lived with multiple of the at the time of the disappearance. An argument broke out between them and the victim refused to leave the apartment when asked, and so it turned physical. They supposedly beat the person until he passed and tried to dissolve the body in the drain cleaner. Some vile stuff. When they came back some days later, according to one of the killers, it stank and was bluish, so they cut the body into pieces. They tried to burn it, but
Nah. You see now, like, this is some fucked up shit, you feel me? Like, cutting a body into pieces. The fuck are you gonna do? Eat it? Nah, bruh. Like, chill the fuck out, bro. And also, like, storing a body in a fucking barrel that contains some, you know, like, chemicals, some shit like that, bro. Like, it's fucking insane. Like, it's fucking insane, though. You feel me? Because it's not like that barrel will contain the smell, even. Nah, gang. I'm sure the room will smell like a corpse, but, like, with chemicals or something. I don't know, though. Hey, I don't know.
eventually decided to scatter the remainings in the park. In June 2013, 2 of the 4 suspects were convicted and received sentences of 20 years. A third suspect was convicted to 23 years since she went on the run after appearing in court for only 1 day. You've gotta be crazy if you're trying to run from this case. Now the real question is actually, why were there multiple notes saying I am Kira? Well, it turns out they were just really big fans of the manga and anime, and so they decided to leave them there. And they didn't even spell the sentence correctly. They wrote Watashi wa Kira desu, but it's supposed to be Watashi wa Kira desu. I'm no Japanese bro though, so I'm just repeating what my sources say.
That's what I'm saying though, like, the fuck, didn't, like, when this shit even happened back in the day, like, was Duolingo even out, bro? Like, damn. And I had to imagine, like, y'all had Google, right? Like, why not search up the fucking translation for that? Like, nah, gang, nah. And at first I was gonna be kinda impressed, like, oh shit, like, it's a single person that's been killing people or whatever, but it turns out it's been 4 people, you know, claiming to be Kira. And last time I remember, bro, like, Light Yagami was a fucking solo man, bro. Like, even Ryuk didn't help that nigga, bro. But these niggas though wanna be on some, yeah, let's tag team this shit. Okay, whatever though. Yeah, just don't kill a nigga. Like, damn. That's fucked up though.
2015, Japan. Maya Tomita is 20 years old, studying business and pursuing her passion in the entertainment industry. She has already made a small name for herself by appearing in the TV drama Secret Girls, which was basically a show about these girls living a secret double life as a Japanese idol group. Kinda like Batman, but with more singing and less fighting crime, I think. But after doing a few side gigs here and there, she decided to become an independent artist and musician. In order to gain popularity, since she was still pretty underground, she traveled to different restaurants and venues to play her songs. During these shows, she slowly builds up her following and meets a ton of new people, including Tomohiro Iwazaki. He's around 26 when he first discovers her. He is essentially the polar opposite of Tomita. Her professors describe Tomita as having this
I'm not the one to speak, but damn, that nigga chop, bruh.
very bubbly personality and being very kind and outgoing in general. Iwazaki, on the other hand, has basically isolated himself for the past years.
Nah, like look at this. Look at this though. You feel me? Like, nah, this nigga's chopped as fuck. And to the girl or like whatever. Okay, not to the girl, but like to anyone watching this though, nigga, don't be too nice to people you don't know though. You feel me? Don't be too nice to strangers, cause who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows what they might do to you, gang? What if they pull down your pants in public, bruh? You'll never know. You'll never know. So hey, just watch out, bruh.
He barely has any friends or social interactions in general. He's like the role model of 4chan users. His brother described him as unskilled in expressing his emotions, but also a gentle and childlike soul. From the first time he saw her, Iwazaki really liked Tomita, and she wouldn't be the first person he would later
the love
become
of my
absolutely
life.
obsessed
I'm sure he
with.
was
The
on
thing
that
is,
type of
Iwazaki
time.
had a history of stalking
Shit,
idols.
it gets worse. It gets worse. It gets worse. I'm sorry, it gets worse, bro. How the fuck does a person even get chopped, and more chopped? Like what the fuck? Damn, nigga. Damn. Bro, this nigga was constantly hitting a glow down, bruh. While people be hitting like glow ups in the internet, this nigga was fucking hitting a glow down. Cause like this shit is crazy. Not unless if this is an old photo. Wait, yeah, I'll assume this is an old photo though. You feel me? Yeah.
And documenting
Damn, bruh.
their every move on his blog, where he would share all his thoughts and
Oh my
feelings.
God.
And he was a very passionate individual.
What kind of a haircut is that, though? It's like a fucking bird's head, gang. Hey. He did it, though. He did it. You feel me? Like, a nigga that evolves this way, though, is... I don't know. Shit.
It would escalate to a point where multiple police reports would be filed against him for following idols in real life and sending them threats. But the worst crime would have yet to come. Like with all the other
Why
Japanese
stop
idols,
people?
Iwazaki quickly
Jeez,
became
gang.
infatuated with Tomita. He would start off as a passionate fan of her and her work, giving her chocolates and little gifts after her performances, which could still be seen as quite normal. I mean, fans give stuff to their idols or role models all the time. But as time went on, he became more and more obsessed. In 2016, after giving her various gifts ranging from flowers to weird-ass books, he built up this fantasy that they're gonna become a thing somehow. I mean, he gave her so many cool things.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie though. Nigga, nah. Let me stop saying the N-word though. My guy, or my girl, if you're watching this. If you like somebody, there is no need to, like, give them gifts. You feel me? Cause just think about it though. You give them a gift, they take it, and by the time you try to ask them out, bro, they will not be fucking with you. Not because of like you gave them a gift or anything, but I'm just saying though, like let's just say they never fucked with you from the beginning, or they didn't view you as somebody that they would date, right? And then you go on, I don't know, like give them gifts, some shit like that, and you think like, oh, okay, this will make them like me more. Nah, it doesn't work like that. I'm not gonna lie. And also stalking somebody though, crazy. Like last year, nigga, I had a chick that was stalking me like crazy at school, bruh. You feel me? Like, damn, but it was crazy. Maybe I should make a story time for this another time, but like, it was crazy. I always felt uncomfortable, you feel me? I didn't report it cause it's like, I don't know. It's like, but at the same time though, like this shit didn't only make me uncomfortable, it made the people around me uncomfortable. That's how bad it was, you feel me? So, she ended up confessing, and then I had to turn her down, but she didn't want to back down. So, like there was this girl that I knew. She told that girl like, oh, like tell him that, I don't know, like, does he want my number? And then when this girl told me, I was like, fuck no, bro. And some time went by. I don't think I've seen her ever since. So, thank the Lord Jesus for that. But gang, I'm just trying to say that, bro, do not do no stalking. Do not do some, I don't know, shower them with gifts. Do not do some simp shit. Like, do not do, or like don't overdo things to make people like you, bro. If they don't like you, they don't like you. It is what it is. You feel me? It should be like that. But I'm taking whatever.
So Iwasaki would decide to propose to her in the restaurant she would perform at that night, with his biggest gift yet, a very expensive gold watch, along with random books. So far, Tomita has been quite nice to him, accepting his gifts and all that, but she obviously couldn't marry this guy. They never even talked outside of her performing, so she rejected him, but she gave him his Twitter so he could check out what she was doing more often, and somehow that seemed to satisfy Iwasaki.
Bad
Although
idea.
he was like very isolated
was
from
a bad
everyone essentially
idea.
and seemed like the perfect guy to run a Discord server, he actually only used Ameba. I don't know how to pronounce it, to be honest.
Amoeba,
A Japanese
whatever.
social networking and blogging platform. So
Amoeba.
getting access to her Twitter
Alright.
seemed like something very intimate to him, although it definitely wasn't. And so he followed Tomita and a friend of hers, who also performed that night he proposed. Right away, this guy started tweeting like crazy. I'm talking dozens of tweets in a day. Also his idol and her friend. By now, Tomita was more than creeped out and knew that if she actually responded to him, she would only feed more into Iwasaki's fantasies. So she just straight up ignored it. Her friend though initially replied to Iwasaki, since she probably didn't know that he literally attended almost every single one of Tomita's concerts and was just a
Damn.
creep in general. But even she stopped talking to him.
File a fucking restraining order on that nigga. Please.
After a while, and being ignored for all that time kind of flipped a switch in him, which made his love for Mayu Tomita turn into hatred. He proceeded to
Shit.
spam her Twitter with over 400 messages telling her that she's looking down on him, that she's ungrateful, and he even threatened her life. In order to bring an end to all this, she decided to return the expensive watch he gave her and blocked him on Twitter at the end of April. That would be 12 days before the attack. On the 9th
Damn.
of May 2016, Tomita decided to file a police report against him since she did not feel safe at all. The police didn't really do anything though, since it did not fall under Japan's stalking laws back in the day, and they didn't think that harassment on social media was a serious enough threat. Police really was on demon time
Lock
and
in.
did not care at all. At this point, Iwasaki has gone absolutely mental. Because Tomita blocked him, he spam messaged her friends on Twitter, demanding all of the gifts back now. The chocolate, the weird books, the flowers, he wanted all of that back. Brody, how do you expect chocolate to be returned? But what can you actually expect from a
Yeah,
guy like him?
fuck.
Even though this was a
I
very
kinda
stressful
barfed
time
it
for
out.
Tomita and all her loved ones, she had to keep it pushing. She was trying to make it as a singer after all. So on May 21st, she was set to perform at an event called Solid Girls Night Volume 11. She publicly announced that she would be there, so she was obviously kinda scared that Iwasaki might pull up, and her worst nightmare became a reality. Before she could even enter the venue, Iwasaki confronted Tomita and asked her why she returned all of the gifts. Tomita was obviously frightened as a
I'm not gonna lie though, like the strategy that I would have pulled if maybe I was this girl though, I feel like I would have had a male friend that I know is good when it comes to throwing hands, right? And I'll tell this nigga basically like, bruh, so you feel me, like there's this person, cause I know that she probably might have, and yeah, let's just assume, because you know this nigga, whoever the fuck that guy is, right? Like that motherfucker, right? He was constantly stalking her on social media, right? So he might have posted his picture or maybe have a PFP, something like that, right? Like I'll tell my male friend like, okay, listen, since the police don't want to lock in though, I want you to watch out for this nigga, you feel me? And you know, you can bring your friends too if you feel like you need some backup, cause you'll never know. But hey, just a small favor, you feel me? And basically, yeah, I think I would have done that if I was her. But you'll never know, like, you know, people's situation. Like, what if she doesn't even have any male friends? Like, you know, some shit like that though. So, hey.
and gave a vague answer before trying to run away. When she turned around, Iwasaki stabbed her from behind in the chest and neck area 61 times with a 3.1-inch knife. He allegedly screamed, "You should die," while doing that. Eyewitnesses immediately called the police after hearing Tomita scream for help and arrested Iwasaki. You can see in the pictures, this guy doesn't seem to feel
Gang. This motherfucker's a fucking shapeshifter. And what's crazy is he shapeshifts into the most chopped forms ever imaginable, bruh. You feel me? First there was that picture where he looked like a fucking dumpling, and then, you know, the other picture where he looked like a fucking anime character, like Krillin, if, I don't know, he grew some hair a bit, something like that, I don't know. And now he looks like, whatever the fuck this is, gang. Nah, no ways.
Any type of remorse or shock at
oh
all.
my God.
This is a
Like, look at
genuine
that,
psychopath,
though.
bro. Tomita was in critical condition, but God
Shit.
knows how, Iwasaki didn't manage to damage any vital organs.
she managed
so
to
she managed to
survive,
survive and regain consciousness on June 7, 2016. She lived. Unfortunately though, her dream of becoming a popular singer has been destroyed, since she had problems even
Fuck.
talking or using her hands. She also suffered from PTSD, so imagine going on stage with that.
Bruh, imagine if this nigga didn't do that to her. And imagine if she made it, you feel me? And now she was like mainstream in Japan. Bro, who knows? She would have been on my playlist. Cause I listen to a lot of Japanese music, bro. Like I'm 50% on, you know, Japanese music, you feel me? If it's not like the language, like the English language type of music, probably like, I don't know, whatever genre that's out there. Bro, I'm heavily into J-pop and J-rock. So, bro, like, just think about it though. I could have been listening to her, bro. Like, damn. You feel me? But then this motherfucker had to do whatever the fuck he did. Like, bruh.
The police later on issued an apology for not doing anything when she was literally begging for help, saying that they didn't know that the harassment was happening outside of social media as well.
Y'all didn't know,
Iwasaki
but
only
she
received
reported it
14
though.
years, but it actually led to
fuck?
Japan changing their anti-stalking laws to include online harassment on social media as well. So there was at least
Nah, she
something positive
reported it
coming out
though.
of this. Now this was an insane case of obsession, but this next case had even more casualties.
Our young generation is clearly lost.
Kyoto
that
Animations is
Kazumanga.
one of the greatest animation studios in Japan.
Oh,
It
yeah,
was the main
Kyoto
publisher of a
Animations.
ton of insane animes, including K-On!, A Silent Voice, Free, and a bunch more. The company has most
A Silent Voice. Top 5 anime movies of all time. Top 5 anime movies of all time, bro. Like, genuinely though, you feel me? Like, I'm a huge fan of Makoto Shinkai movies, you feel me? Like Your Name, Weathering With You, Suzume. Oh my gosh, Suzume, bro. But, you feel me? And then we gotta add movies such as, you know, like A Silent Voice. And I know, like, Makoto Shinkai didn't direct that or had nothing to do with that, but bro, this shit was fire. You feel me? And then whoever the fuck that dumbass is had to come over here and fucking burn the studio, bro. Fuck you, bro. Fuck you, gang.
locations throughout Japan, but this story is about Studio One, the building actually dedicated to the animation side of things. It's 2018 and Kyoto Animation suddenly experiences an
Hold
influx.
on. Like they separate studios? I didn't know that, bro. Like I thought they did everything under one building, but whatever.
Hate messages. It starts off as threats and slander, but as time goes on, the messages develop into threats, even mentioning
Shit.
specific staff that are working for Kyoto Animation. This whole thing escalates to the point that in October of 2018, the company went to the police to investigate. The Kyoto police tried to find out who was behind these, at this point, hundreds of death threats, but couldn't pinpoint any person, as the creator used Tor to hide their information, kinda like the dark web type of alley. And so the police just kinda gave up. I mean, they're just empty threats after all, right? This would be the potential foreshadowing to one of the most tragic things happening in the anime industry ever. Shinji Aoba, 41 at the time, was staying at an internet cafe on July 16. According to eyewitnesses, he was seen walking around the area close to the animation studio, kinda just cooking up his plan, I guess. 2 days later, on the morning of July the 18th, Aoba walks into the studio, carrying 11 gallons of gasoline. He basically soaks the entire area, including several employees, before he...
Although, here's my question though, with all of this. If this motherfucker had to walk into the studio with 11 gallons of gasoline, how the fuck didn't they see him? Like, it doesn't make sense. Wasn't there any security? Cause if it's a studio, I imagine it had to have some security, bruh. You feel me? Like, what the fuck? And also carrying 11 gallons of gasoline. Nah. It's not like that nigga had those things in his pockets, like, you feel me? On some... Nah. So, I don't know. Bro, did he sneak in or something. I don't know.
igniting it. He sets multiple
Shit.
employees on including him during the process. Right away, the fire results in an explosion at
that,
around
gang.
10:31 a.m. due to the gasoline mixing with the air or something. I'm not a chemist. And Aoba supposedly screams "die" repeatedly as he carries out his act. The fire
You know what's crazy though? Like these people, these motherfuckers be on some die. It's some anime dialogue, gang, and I'm not gonna lie, it's cringe as fuck. You feel me? Like this shows that these individuals are weebs, in fact. Yeah, cause like imagine just killing somebody or injuring somebody and all you gotta say is die. Nigga, I doubt that even Jeffrey Dahmer had to do that shit, gang.
close by the entrance as Aoba just walked in there, and it traps the entire staff inside the building. Some workers try to escape through the second and third floors, but the explosion caused the floors to be filled with smoke within 30 seconds, making escape almost impossible. 5 hours later and the fire is under control, but it's only extinguished the next day at 6 a.m. The building had no
Fuck.
fire sprinklers or anything due to it being
Shit.
classified as a small office building, which is crazy to think
Shit.
about. Now, before I talk about the aftermath of all of this, which is absolutely insane, why did Shinji Aoba do all this? Did he not like the anime they produced? Was he just batshit crazy? Well, as I already said, he lit himself on too during the process, so he had to be rushed to the hospital with
dumbest
severe
reasons he
burns.
did
While
this,
being
by the way.
transported there,
Like, you're
he
about to
admitted to
hear
having
it.
started the
You're
fire,
about to
and he
hear
actually
this, gang.
admitted
Like,
doing it
one
because
of
of
the dumbest-
plagiarism. You heard me right? Because of plagiarism. He accused the studio of stealing ideas from his novel. Aoba had submitted a draft novel to the studio, but it didn't even pass the first stage of assessment and was forgotten. But he was still convinced that they stole stuff from his work. Now let me just read out the scenes that were supposedly stolen. His main accusation was that in the anime Tsurune, there's a character in episode 5 who buys meat at a 20% discount. And his novel also happened to have a scene where the hero buys something at a 50% discount. That's it. Now there are also some other scenes that were supposedly stolen. So in the anime Free, right, there's a scene where a school banner reads "Swimming Club advanced to regional tournament." Aoba's novel apparently included a few scenes where banners appear too. This guy is not serious. And the last one is where a character in K-On! Says to a junior, "I repeated a grade." And in Aoba's story there's a scene where a high school boy is told by his teacher, "If you continue like this, you'll repeat the grade." Those were all the scenes that were apparently plagiarized. It's not like they happen to have the exact same concepts in terms of story.
So I cannot even have an idea based off of this type of thing happening. Like based off of this type of event even happening. You're crazy. Imagine if I made some music right now, right? And probably I dropped a bar about some, I don't know, maybe like Bonnie Blue or something. Like, yeah, I've been running through 1,000 like I'm Bonnie Blue. Something like that, right? And you know, and I don't know, maybe somebody, and let's say somebody who isn't that known, you feel me? Made a bar, like a similar bar about Bonnie Blue or something. And then that motherfucker now wants to kill me because of maybe this song of mine is fucking popping or something. And people are, I don't know, going crazy around the bar that I made about like Bonnie Blue and stuff like that. And now this motherfucker wants to kill me or like do whatever just because of that. Like, yeah, bro, you're crazy. At the end of the day, we are all human, gang. You feel me? It might happen that we might think of the same thing, even though like without even knowing each other, gang. You feel me? Like use common sense. Use common sense, bro. Like what? It's wrong now to have an idea. Damn, bro, you feel me? And I don't know, like you shouldn't have even submitted the whole your novel or your manga to the studio if you had like trust issues about like, oh shit, what if my material gets stolen or something? Nigga, keep that shit at home then. You feel me? Keep that shit at home. Like what the fuck is your problem, bro? Why did you even send it in the first place if you're gonna do some dumb shit like this? Nah, bro.
Or have very similar characters. They happen to have similar scenes, but they were completely different animes. The amount of times an anime girl punches a guy in the face, animation studios would be accused of plagiarism all the time. So let's talk about the disaster he actually created. 70 people were inside the studio at the time of the fire. 36 employees most of them almost instantly because of the severe burns, and some of them because of the carbon monoxide a couple days later. Among some of the deceased were Naomi Ishida, a color designer
R.I.P.
who has worked for the company since
R.I.P. R.I.P. to all of
1992.
them,
She
bro.
was the first
Like,
victim who was
the ones that
identified as.
died.
Also, Yasuhiro Takemoto, who was an
R.I.P.,
animator,
R.I.P.,
scriptwriter, and
R.I.P.
director in the fire. He's worked at Kyoto Animation for almost his entire career. And Yoshiji Kigami, a giant in the industry,
R.I.P.
a veteran who has worked on films like Akira and Studio Ghibli's Grave of the Fireflies. The world of anime and Japan lost so
Taking out
many
an
important
icon is
people that day
crazy.
because of this man. This event was one of the deadliest massacres in Japan since the end of World War II. Now Aoba was transferred to a university hospital and he received all the necessary surgery to survive. After 4 months of recovery, he was able to talk and wasn't in critical condition anymore. He got artificial skin and the whole package. After recovering, he said that he regretted his actions and was thankful for the staff, who treated him better.
You regret it now? Like, think before you act. Think before you act. Cause your actions got you fucking injured to that point, bruh. Think before you act.
Than anyone has ever before. Could have thought about that before doing that, big bro. On December 16, he was charged with attempted and a bunch of other things. And it turns out that Novel might have just set off this behavior, but wasn't actually the cause of it, since Aoba had a prior criminal history and suffered from mental illness. In 2012, for example, he robbed a convenience store with a knife and was jailed for 3.5 years. And he did that just because, I guess. This whole court thing takes quite a while, but in January of 2024, he was finally sentenced, and he received the death penalty, which he accepted. Pretty crazy if you think about it. They saved his life and proceeded to do surgery.
There's no other thing you're gonna do about it though. It's not like you deny the death penalty, like, nah, gang, no. Die, nigga, die. Okay, my bad though, but like, fuck.
On him for months just to give him the death sentence. But I digress. After the attack, some of the employees who were involved in this tragedy returned to work at the other location of Kyoto Animation, but obviously some of them took extended breaks to deal with the stress and trauma, and the building was
Damn,
demolished.
bruh.
Our young generation is clearly lost, man.
It's
Delusion
4 p.m.
queen.
The police in Tokyo receive a call that a man has been. Once they arrive at the scene, they find a person seated on the floor. It's an attractive young woman sitting in the
I've
lobby
heard
of her
about this
building,
one
but her
too.
legs and hands are covered in blood. She's sitting next to the man who's slowly out, literally just chilling with a phone in her hand. That woman was Yuka Takaoka. When all of this happened, Takaoka was a manager at a hostess club. A hostess club is basically a place Japanese men go to get their ego stroked. They go in, the girls working there pretend like they're the
They get their ego stroked. Right.
king of the world and make them buy drinks and spend money. There's also some spicy stuff going on behind the scenes,
Yeah,
but most of the
I
time
doubt that's
it's
the
really
only
just
thing that's been
talking and drinking.
stroked.
Imagine feeling like Justin Bieber in his prime, but you just pay for that feeling instead. Takaoka's job was kinda just overseeing the place and trying to milk out as much money out of these men as possible. Now on the side, Takaoka was also a huge anime fan. Who would have thought? Whole videos about otakus. She would do the typical thing of cosplaying characters and stuff like that. Nothing out of the ordinary. There was one type of character though she seemed to cosplay the most, yanderes. If you're chronically online, you know what
Yo, please. You know what's crazy? Though? I think a few years ago, I used to attend the same class as somebody who, like some chick who was into anime heavily, but like, I don't know though. Like, she would tell us, yeah, me and my homeboy, some shit like, yeah, I'm into that yandere shit. And then I was like, oh, shit, you feel me? And crazy part is, she had a huge crush on my boy. So I was kind of concerned, like, wow, what if, I don't know. But thankfully, though, she has some common sense, and she can distinguish, like, real life from, like, anime and stuff like that, like, it was just a joke at the end of the day, but, like, hey, bro, if somebody's showing some signs of, like, a yandere, then yeah, nigga, run. And if you don't know what the fuck a yandere is, I'm pretty much sure he'll explain it. But hey, if you don't know though, I don't need to explain it. So go search it up, bro.
those are, but if not, yanderes are basically these girls in animes, or I guess also in real life, who are overly in love with somebody. Like that next level stuff. Anybody who gets near their crush gets stabbed and they become all crazy. That's like the whole story of the game Yandere Simulator, right? You're this girl who everybody and anything who stands in the way of your love. Now let's get back to the Hostess Club. Those are designed for Japanese men to talk to women, but there's also the female counterpart, host clubs. Women go there to just forget about reality and talk to young men.
Hostess, host. Hostess, host. Well, then I guess I know where the fuck I'm going when I'm going to Japan though. You know, me and my homies, like there's no way I'm going to a country on my own though. Like dead ass, gang, dead ass.
And in one of those host clubs, Phoenix Luna had just started working there as a host to make a living. It's obviously not his real name though. Even though he just started out, he actually managed to do pretty decently as a host. He was number 4 and for quite some time number 3 in terms of popularity, which didn't result in a lot of money, but it was enough to survive, since he was also able to sleep there. He just kinda had that nice look to him. I mean, he's not an ugly guy, nor did he. So one night, Yuka Takaoka decided
What's with the whole hair swish thingy? Like, did you listen to My Chemical Romance? Who the
work
fuck
was
knows?
pretty draining as a manager, so she just wanted to relax a little and get some male attention, and so she went to a Fusion nightclub, the host club where Luna worked at. Now it was just something about this guy that caught Takaoka's attention, and so she chose him to entertain her for the night. She spends some money, has a pleasant
kinda
night,
looks like
and then goes
fucking
home. As
like
transactional as
Nah.
it gets, basically. It's like somebody subbing to a big
L.
streamer. They get
L.
$5 and you get to see your name on the screen
know.
for a split second. But Takaoka just keeps thinking about this man, so she decides to return to the club over and over again. You gotta know, for the past years, Takaoka has only been focusing on stacking her bread. So she has some money to spend, at least for a while. So she goes in there and buys champagne after champagne. And the person who kind of makes her buy those drinks earns a commission, right? So Phoenix Luna is pretty happy about making more money. After a while, Takaoka notices that Luna is only ranked 4 on the leaderboard. And so she decides to spend even more money on him to get him up those ranks. And I'm not talking about a
Hey, W assistance, but also what you did though, what you do though, fucked up.
few $100s here and there. She spent up to 10k a month on Luna, which got him to rank
Holy
1 on the
shit.
leaderboard within a month. They spend so much time together that Takaoka builds up this fantasy that if she just keeps spending money on him, he would eventually be able to quit his job and they could be a couple. Some down bad fantasy right there. This delusion escalated to a point where she would pay him to go on dates with her and paid extra money so she could
Hey. If there's anybody, you know, with a bag, you feel me? Like any female with a bag though, you feel me? And you know you wanna pay somebody, you know, like you wanna pay some mandum to go on a date with, then yeah, I'm available. Cause like, what the fuck do you mean she paid this nigga to go on dates? What the fuck? Damn, bro. Like, if you hear anything about this, like anything like this, it's usually some, oh, this guy paid this girl to go on a date with him, stuff like that. But not some, this girl paid this guy to, nah, you feel me? Like, this is some foreign shit if you gotta think about it. Like, damn. I'm not saying it's some foreign shit, isn't like, this is some shit that happens wherever. Nah, I'm just saying like, this is a foreign concept, bro. Like, wow.
observe him every time she visited the club. Now Luna obviously kind of plays along since he's making decent money at this point, and it's kind of the job of somebody working there to be like a pretend boyfriend. And Takaoka would kind of know that since she literally works in the industry herself, but I guess if you got those pink glasses on, you can't be stopped. She proceeded to rent a whole apartment near Luna's club so they can move in together, and I guess Luna kinda agreed to live there a part-time. This is the part where she actually turns full on yandere herself. She gets so jealous of his work that she tells him that every time he meets a woman who's paying for his services, if you know what I mean, he should call and tell her. Remember, this man is not in a relationship with Takaoka at all. She's just paying him to pretend. Imagine
Setting boundaries while we are not in a fucking relationship is crazy. Is crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Crazy as fuck.
3 sub tells Pokimane that she can't get in a relationship because he's her biggest fan.
You ain't funny.
But Luna kinda plays along because he's a sweet guy and so he agrees to do so. On May 23rd, 2019, Luna calls Takaoka and tells her, hey, I'm meeting with another woman, strictly business, you know what I'm saying? Just wanted to let you know, even though this is literally the exact thing she told him to do, Takaoka goes mad. So mad that she makes up a plan to self-exit. But she's also like, if she's going to, might as well take him with me so they can be happy in the afterlife. Kinda like,
Nigga, there's no such thing as we will be happy in the afterlife. Cause what if we get I don't know what if we fucking get separated though? You feel me? Like you kill me and then you kill yourself. What if I go to heaven? You feel me? Cause I didn't do shit to deserve this, and whatever. You feel me? And also yeah, had my relationship with Jesus and some stuff like that. And then you go to hell, cause you committed murder and suicide. Like, you feel me? What if that happens though? What if that happens? Like let's even forget about like religion. What if you go to the bad part of the afterlife and then I go to the good part, bro? Nah. Use your brain. Use your brain before you start doing some shit like this, dog.
Romeo and Juliet type of story. All this time, Luna obviously said I love you and stuff like that to her, but even she knew that he just did that because he got paid to do so. And in her head, if they both passed, his statements might become a reality. So she pretends like she didn't just come up with the most twisted, evil plan ever and tells him to go over to their apartment so he can help her clean the place. After they do that, and also for some change, he takes a bath to just kinda unwind and relax. While he's taking a nap, Takaoka decides to snoop through his phone and finds pictures of another woman at the nightclub with him. Those weren't even explicit or anything, just photos that align with his work, right? Luna steps out of the tub to go to sleep in the actual bed of the apartment, and it's all good. That night, Takaoka waits until about 3:50 a.m. to ensure he's really asleep. She takes out a knife and stabs him in his stomach. He obviously instantly wakes up, shocked that he literally has something in his body, and before being able to push her away, Takaoka sits on top of him, asking him if he really liked her. I think in this situation, every guy would do the same thing, and he just tells her, I love you, and then pushes her to the side. He runs towards the elevator.
Hey, here's the first thing that I would try though, and it's only me. And I'm sorry, but like, this is a fight or flight type of situation, you feel me? So I do not condone any, like gender-based violence or anything. But bro, I'm punching her off of me, bruh. You feel me? I'm not gonna pretend like, oh, I would just, lift her off of me and some shit like that. Cause like without any pain though, she wouldn't move, gang. Like I feel like she'd be stubborn, you feel me? So, hey, by all means necessary, gang, I'm punching her off of me. Now, only if it is possible. If it is not possible and I don't know, maybe she has her legs in some type of way that's, like even if I did punch her, she wouldn't move away, then I'm not gonna lie, I don't have a choice. Then I gotta say yes. So, shit, bruh. Like, bruh.
To try to get out of the building ASAP, and Takaoka follows him after grabbing some things. Luna loses consciousness though, and so Takaoka literally drags his body to the lobby of their residence and just sits next to him, waiting for him to die. Now a random woman just walks by and sees all of this and is shocked to her core. First thing you gotta do is obviously take a picture, and then she calls the police. In the picture you can see Takaoka on her phone, talking to God knows who,
Lighting
without
a
a
fucking
care
cigarette.
in the world.
Nobody
does any.
I'm not gonna lie. That's some aura shit, you feel me? Like that picture does have some aura. Now, you feel me? Like that picture would be hard as fuck if it was faked. Or maybe if she had some fake blood and there wasn't any dying person in the floor, you feel me? Like, I swear to God, this shit would be hard as fuck, bro. But hey, you gotta remember though. Like you gotta remember. I don't know. Yeah.
To stop her though, since they don't know what she's actually capable of. I mean, I would definitely not go near a girl sitting next to a grown man who's slowly acting like everything is sunshine and rainbows. And that brings us back to the beginning. Police arrive and arrest her, and she actually doesn't put up any sort of fight. While she's in the police car, you can literally see her smiling, like she
Did you enjoy that though? Was it worth it? Like taking somebody else's life? And also, wasn't the plan like wasn't the plan kill him, then kill myself? Now you're being a pussy and just sitting there like, fuck. I don't think I have the balls to kill myself or anything. I'm not saying she should have killed herself or anything, but like, wasn't that the plan though? I don't know.
Enjoyed that stuff. Now comes probably the most obscure thing ever. Following this attack, Takaoka basically builds a huge following because she's somewhat attractive. Like, what? It's like the guy who ran over who ended up getting like edits made of him. She got fan art. People described her as too beautiful to be criminal and all of that. In this
And people who've been a part of that, y'all are fucked up. Y'all are fucked up, bruh. Y'all are fucked up. I'm not gonna lie. Fucking glazing another person who did some horrible shit like that. Y'all are fucked up.
December of 2019, she got 3.5 years in prison for attempted. Only 3 years for all of that. The good side is
Why not glaze the injured person? Why not glaze him? Y'all are glazing the wrong person. Like, oh my god. Damn.
Luna was able to recover from his heavy injuries. He regained consciousness 5 days after the attack, even though the doctor said that he only had a 20% chance of surviving. But obviously he wasn't able to talk, eat, walk, or do anything essentially for quite some time. But after recovering from all that, as far as I know, he actually came back to the industry. He still works in the same host bar, but it's like way more popular now since everybody knows his story. The one downside is that his liver doesn't work anymore, and so he can't drink alcohol, but he can probably live with that. And this guy's some kind of saint. Luna agreed to do an interview with some reporters, right? And he literally said that he fully forgives her for what she did. This guy's like an angel or something. Now let's talk about...
Hey. That is crazy. That is crazy. I guess as people we're not the same. So that is crazy. I don't know if I would have forgave her if it was me or anything like that, but that is crazy though. Hey, but you know, I guess like you gotta learn to move on, bro, as time goes on. But like, damn, that is crazy.
Takaoka. This all happened in 2019 and she got 3 years. Doing some basic maths and she's been out there. And she actually posts quite regularly on her Instagram, still doing cosplays and stuff like that. And she also streamed, like Pokemon and stuff.
Our young generation is clearly lost.
Junji Matsumoto was born in 1960.
And guess who the fuck is watching her? The people who vouched for her to not get arrested, I'm sure.
1962 in, who'd have guessed, Japan. You could describe him as a typical introvert kind of nerd type of guy. He didn't really talk much, and when somebody asked him something in class, he would just straight up not respond or go to the bathroom as an excuse. He really was just in his own world for real. For example, one time in class, he was asked what he wanted to be when he grew up, and he just didn't say a word, probably just stared at the teacher. Later, when the classmate asked him in private what he wanted,
Hey, I'm not gonna lie though, I think I grew up the same, gang. Like, quiet, hella quiet, like dead ass, you feel me? And I still am a quiet person, but like I'm kinda, you know, learning or like, you know, kinda starting to be comfortable around people, cause honestly I like me some alone time. I don't like to be bothered, none of that, bro, you feel me? Like if you meet me in real life though, like I always got these on, so you feel me? I don't know. And people usually tell me like, bruh, we are afraid to approach you. And it's like, bro, like clearly you're talking to me now, so why are you fucking afraid? And it's usually some shit like, nah, when you're, you know, like in your own zone, like probably have some, you know, earbuds in, stuff like that, gang. You look like the type of person who would fucking cuss me out, bruh, if I were to come talk to you and stuff like that. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy. But maybe I'd cuss you out if I was listening to, I don't know, fucking Ken Carson or something, I don't know.
to do.
Or
He said he
lucky.
wanted to be a scientist, since he was pretty good at math and science.
No, I'm just
So
kidding,
he might
bro.
have been a shy kid, but he at least had something going for him. He could focus on becoming a scientist and just live a normal life. Unfortunately, he would experience an episode of events that will lead him to kill both of his parents. After graduating high school, he secured a job for a little bit, but quit since he couldn't adjust to the workplace, probably because of his shyness or anxiety, and he just kind of stopped looking for jobs. Instead, he now spends most of his time watching anime, reading manga, and helping out at the liquor store that his mother runs, alongside his big bro. He has no sort of friends, and his family are really the only people he actually talks to. It's safe to say he doesn't really have any plan on what to do with his life, and he continues this exact lifestyle for 30 years. 30 years of watching anime, reading manga, and sometimes helping out at the store. And now comes the first unlucky event. His brother is hospitalized because of some sort of illness, which leaves Junji's mom and Junji to run the store now. But things just don't really work out after a while. Other corporations around the area slowly open up stores, Junji can't really operate things, and the parents are quite old now, so they decide to close the shop and retire. I mean, he's around 49 when this happens, so his parents are getting up there as well. Respect to the grind, but at one point you gotta hang it up, right? So they're both retired now, and his dad kinda runs the household since his wife is not physically able to do so. Here comes the second.
What's sad is he's 49, bro. You know, pushing 50. And he still lives with his parents. Like, that's the saddest part, I'm not gonna lie. So, yeah, you feel me? Like, kind of like a reminder to probably like everybody watching this, you feel me? Like, gang, you feel me? Like, you gotta work hard, bro. You gotta work hard towards your goals, stuff like that, just to make sure that probably around your 20s, gang, you don't live with your parents, because parents can be headaches, I'm not gonna lie.
An unfortunate event. On June 13th, 2021, Hirokazu, the dad, who's now in his 80s, just rides his bike when he gets into an accident. And you know how quickly older people can break bones and stuff. I mean, it's pretty crazy that he's even able to ride a bike at that age. But the father ends up being wheelchair bound nonetheless. With his brother hospitalized for 10 years now, and his dad being in a wheelchair, it is now fully Junji's responsibility to take care of his parents and the household. And he's overwhelmed. He suddenly has to attend to them 24/7. Every time they gotta go to the toilet, he has to help them. When they need to take a shower, he's gotta help them. And something like a retirement home is out of the question, since they do not have the funds to support that at all. Matter of fact, he uses the money that they saved up over the decades to buy the food and all that, since he hasn't had a job that actually paid him since he was 19. It really seems like a dead end. Now let's talk about the most unfortunate event. On June 20th, 2021, Junji was just watching his favorite anime. Probably like, my little sister can't be this cute. Enough with the jokes. This is really sad. He watched
Lock in, bro.
this anime to kind of escape reality for a bit, and his father asked him to help him to the toilet as usual, but there's a really good scene happening right now, so Junji just tries to ignore him. His father really needs to go though, so he's kind of complaining and annoying him, if you can put it like that. He asks him over and over again until Junji snaps. He's so fed up with his father that he grabs an electrical cord and just starts him. His dad kind of squirms around and tries to stop it, but Junji...
Bruh, there's no way. Like, I cannot be stressed to the point whereby I fucking kill somebody. Hell nah. Even if I'm overwhelmed by some shit, bro. You feel me? Like, for instance, like, you can be overwhelmed with schoolwork, bro. Like, you probably have that one teacher that always gives you all homework for some reason. And it's a lot of homework, bro. I'm not talking about some, oh yeah, just write this. Nah, bro. It's a lot of homework. And they expect it, like, tomorrow morning or something. Bro, I cannot even take the decision that, you know what, bro, this motherfucker has to go, so I'll devise a plan to get rid of them completely, you feel me? Like, wipe them off of this planet, you feel me? Like, nah, gang, all because of, like, I'm fucking overwhelmed. Nah, bro, nah, like, chill the fuck out, gang, you feel me? Deal with it, gang, and I don't know, bro, I don't know, like, bruh. If I was bro though, I think like the wisest decision that I would have taken probably would have been, you know, kinda go get a job, you feel me? Kinda go get a job. That doesn't require like a lot of hours, cause I gotta come back and take care of my parents and shit like that. But like, you know, go get that job, get paid, and eventually just to, you know, like take down the stress and whatever, you feel me, like just to make it less overwhelming, stuff like that. Pay for a retirement home, you know. Now I don't have like stress anymore, you feel me? And also I make bread. Shit like that, gang. Shit like that. But damn, bro, killing somebody? Nah.
continues, and all that is left now is his father's soulless Junji doesn't just live with his father though, right? His mother witnessed everything as well. So in his head, he needs to get rid of her too. He's now left with two in front of him. He grabs them and puts them into the big ass empty fridge that used to be part of the liquor store. He shoves them in there and just tapes the door shut. Jesus Christ, bro, this stuff is disturbing. After the adrenaline probably kind of wears off, he realizes that he had just become a criminal, even though he just wanted to watch his anime. He does not want to go to jail though, probably because...
All because of you wanted to watch... What the fuck? All because of you wanted to watch an anime. And I also forgot that this video is about like anime motherfuckers. So... Nah, there's no way.
He wouldn't be able to watch his anime, so he devises a plan to escape. After the incident, he calls off all appointments that his parents had. He calls off the rehab for his mother, and he postpones the visit of the welfare guys who would have come to the home to check up on them. On June 23rd, he takes all the credit cards of his parents and withdraws everything he can out of there, and then he leaves. There's a mix of him riding his bike and taking trains, but he essentially travels from one side of Japan to the other side, sleeping in different hotels, motels, whatever he could probably find. While he's gone, his relatives actually tried calling them multiple times, but obviously nobody picks up, and so after a while of calling them, they called the police instead for a wellness check. They knew that Junji was under a lot of pressure and was kind of, closed off, not really the guy to talk and stuff. So on June 28th, the police checks up on them. Upon entering the house, they notice this weird stench coming from the fridge, and when they open it, they find this. This is a 3D model of how the were inside the fridge.
Damn.
So they find both of the parents, but they don't know where the last person is. Junji. I mean, in their heads, everything could have happened to him. He might have been kidnapped or also met the same fate as the parents. So they ask around. They interview the neighbors and stuff like that. And they all tell them Junji was kind of acting weird lately. And somebody spotted him riding his bike, and that leads to a nationwide search for him. The police looks at security camera footage. They ask hotels and all of it, and through that, they actually managed to track him down pretty easily. On July 4th, 2021, they find him in a hotel parking lot in Kyoto. They first arrest him for leaving corpses without reporting it or something, which you obviously should do, but he quickly admits that he was actually the one who them. And not gonna lie, this next part is just really depressing. During his trial, the prosecutor asks him about his family, and he basically describes how his mother suffered from a lumbar fracture. I don't know what that's either, but her back probably hurt so much that she said she didn't want to live anymore. And his father developed dementia in early 2021, and when he asked Junji to help him use the toilet, all that pent-up frustration and pressure just exploded, and he didn't care about the repercussions of his actions. During that trial, there were also talks about him having a personality disorder, which made him so shy and isolated from everybody, but that didn't really change the result of the sentence. On the 6th of, I don't know to be honest, because the article doesn't say what 6th, but I'm guessing on the 6th of July, he was sentenced to 30 years in prison for alongside some other things.
Our young generation is clearly lost, man.
Tsutomu Miyazaki started off like almost every single person on this list. He was born in 1962 in Japan, and during his childhood he kept to himself a lot. He was bullied in school and didn't have a lot of friends, or any friends. And the reason for that is actually because of something entirely out of his control. He had a hand deformity which made his hand appear claw-like. I couldn't find a real close-up of his actual hand, since a lot of people use this picture, which doesn't even have anything to do with this case, but you can kind of see his hand right here. Because he was kind of an outcast, he spent a lot of time reading manga and watching anime, and like a lot of pubescent teenagers, he also dabbled in spicy content and horror movies as well. But as time went on, he gradually started watching more violent and graphic stuff, but I'll get there. Now, although Tsutomu was kind of a loner, from the outside it actually looked like his life was pretty nice. He was born into a wealthy family. They ran a newspaper business and they were actually quite well known in the area. Additionally, he was a straight A student. He attended a very prestigious high school and was basically a 5-star recruit, but for academics basically. He wanted to study English to become a teacher. Pretty wholesome so far. But of course the outside often does not reflect the inside. People flex designer stuff even though they're dead broke. And Tsutomu felt the same way, dead inside. His parents were always working. They put so much pressure on him to perform well in school. He still had no friends, and the only person he actually talked to was his grandfather, who was basically raising him. And all that just accumulates over time. You can tell that he started to show cracks when his grades dropped. And they dropped dramatically. He went from a rising star to rank 40 out of 56, which is pretty bad if you can't tell. Now, the high school he attended was connected to a university, so if you do well enough, you can just kind of transition and study the thing you want to study. In his case, English, right? But his grades dropped so low that he couldn't get in, so he had to attend a random local college instead and decided to become a photography technician out of nowhere. And you really gotta remember these small details, because once I reach the end, all these little facts will have such a compounding effect. Tsutomu studied photography or whatever, and during this time his obsession with weird media started growing. Apparently in college he would take not so appropriate photos of female players on the tennis court and be an absolute fiend for spicy magazines. But according to him, they became boring after a while, since they black out the most important part. So he would go down the route of seeking more extreme stuff, such as media including people not of age. He really fell into the depths of full-fledged
gang. I'm speechless, bruh. Like, I don't know, gang. I don't know. Bro, out of everything you could have done, why that though? Stick to your fucking Playboy magazines. Nah. Like, Jesus, dude. Nah, bruh. Nah. Like, people like this, bruh, need to be fucking checked over here, bro. Cause, like, nah. I thought he was about to say some shit like, oh, he started watching some gore, some shit like that. In which, still, it would have been like, holy shit, like, are you okay? But, CP? Nah. And people who were publishing that, why didn't the police track them down though? Is my question. How the fuck did the police not track them down? Fuck, nah, bruh.
degeneracy. And this is only the beginning. At home, he still felt like nobody in his family really cared about his happiness or anything. They were only focused on material things and the business, which actually drove him to be quite depressed. And during that time, in the mid-1980s, so when he was in his 20s, he actually considered self-exiting. His grandfather managed to talk him out of that though. Unfortunately, in 1988, his grandfather would pass away. His only source of sincere human connection was gone now. The worst thing that could ever happen to him during this period happened. Simultaneously, his grandfather was probably the only one who kept Tsutomu's dark thoughts in check, so he had no person who would regulate him now. And considering that regulated means taking pictures of women, you can kinda guess where this leads. His change of personality was noticeable from the get-go. He began spying on his little sisters and attacked them when they confronted him.
Call the feds, bruh. Call the feds. And for the little sisters, y'all should have reported this to the parents, gang. Call the feds. You feel me? This is a grown-ass man doing some shit like this, by the way. Like, you gotta remember that. Call the feds.
His mother caught wind of it. She also said that he should watch less of his videotapes, that at this point contained increasingly more vile and graphic stuff. Like, the anime and horror tapes definitely were not the mainstream type, let's put it this way. He wasn't watching My Neighbor Totoro, okay? And in order to feel closer to his grandpa, that he understandably very much missed, he would also eat some of his ashes. But as crazy as it sounds,
Fuck. This is the most fucked up case throughout this whole video. Like, this is the most disturbing, bruh.